Hi, this is Asim.
This is Sujoy.
This is Amrita.
And you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast about the three main Khans of the Hindi film industry.
Amir,
Salman,
And Shara.
Hi, you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast regular feed. Thank you so much for your support over the years. We now have a Patreon channel with bonus content and exclusive merch for those of you who would like to support us. Every dollar goes towards creating more and better content. Visit us at patreon.com/Khandaan podcast.
Hi and welcome to a new episode of Khandaan Podcast. My name is Asim Bernie and I'm joined by my lovely co-host Amrita and Sujoy. Hey Amrita, hey Sujoy.
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, Sujoy just absolutely stole my joke. I was going to say Assalamu alaikum.
You should, the full line is Namaskar wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is how we should start it.
Namaskar, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And welcome to Islam,
And
Sujoy.
he doesn't say it once. He says it so many times.
Okay, we have to see what we're talking about. This is not context. So, first of all, hey Amrita, hey Sujoy. Welcome to...
What's up, everybody?
Hey guys.
So, if you've not figured out what we're doing, this episode we are talking about Janasheen. This was a listener pick from our Patreon, Irfan. And if you are the member of the Ghar Ka Banda tier, then you can pick a movie and we will talk about it. So, this is the pick. I don't know why Irfan chose this movie when he initially suggested it, because I didn't have any memory of it necessarily. The only memory I had of this movie was Celina Jaitley playing violin in a bikini. That's how much I remembered about this movie. And
Same.
I'm assuming this was the same for you guys, right?
Yeah, I've never watched this movie before. I remember Shekhar Suman making a lot of jokes about Celina Jaitley in a bikini
Really?
playing a violin, and that being the distilled version of her entire career. That's all that I remember.
So, but when I watched the movie, I totally understood why Irfan wanted us to watch this movie, because we haven't watched and discussed a movie that is like in this genre of so bad it's good, you know? So,
Wait, what is its genre? Like, what? We haven't discussed this genre. Please tell me, what is the genre?
The torture for Khandaan genre.
exactly.
Feroz Khan is having a super awesome day genre.
What's that song? Naach Mere Kya? Paisa Milega? What's that song?
Naach Meri
Naach
Bulbul.
Naach Mere...
Naach Meri Bulbul.
This is the genre. Khandaan tu naach paise pe paisa milega. This is the genre of this review. I don't think I had ever heard the word Janasheen as much as in my life as I have when I've watched this movie.
I literally have never heard that word anywhere except for this one film.
Like, how did they normalize people calling this person is my Janasheen?
And nobody asked, what do you mean with Janasheen? Like, because when I didn't have, like I said, I didn't remember much of the movie. I thought Celina Jaitley was Janasheen. I thought she was Fardeen Khan's Janasheen, but no, they use it as air, right? Like that's how it's used in this movie, and everybody's using the word. And it's a very, very odd choice. So, for people that do not know what this movie is about, this movie came out in 2003. It's the last movie Feroz Khan directed. I don't know why he directed this movie. I feel that he probably felt that Fardeen Khan wasn't as big of a deal as Hrithik Roshan, and he wanted to maybe position him in that same manner, because he had tried with Prem Aggan, which is classically a derided and criticized and made fun of movie. So I think that's what he was trying to do, I guess. Amrita, what do you think Feroz Khan was trying to do with this movie?
I think it's a love letter to himself. I think Feroz Khan's overriding interest in Fardeen Khan is that he is Feroz Khan's son.
Yes.
And therefore, he's the object of desire because he is, Feroz Khan's kid. And this whole movie is about like Feroz Khan. Like it's about like he's not like he literally bumps off the guy who plays like Harsh Chaya who plays his dad.
Yeah.
So he can just sort of like, grandfather himself in there and be like, yeah, I'm totally your dad too. Like, this is just so old school filmmaking. Like I can see the 70s in
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. I wanted to read the plot summary, but I honestly can't. Like, it's impossible to. There's so much going on in this movie. I'll just read this. Like, it's a 2003 Indian Hindi language romantic action thriller, co-written, edited, produced, and directed by Feroz Khan, who stars with Fardeen Khan and Celina Jaitley. It was partly shot in Afghanistan and Thailand. And let's keep it at that. Like, I think I cannot summarize this movie. Like, unless you guys want to give it a shot.
No, stuff happens in this movie. And then, the written, directed, and edited by Feroz Khan totally makes sense now because it has no coherence whatsoever. One department is not talking to another. And it's the same person doing it.
I was watching this on the YouTube channel Goldmine Movies. And I was like, hey, this is quite breezy. It's a 2-hour movie. I'll get through it quite quickly. And I was watching it and I was like, this was edited by a madman, like a total crazy person, and I didn't understand it. And then I figured out that it was a compressed version, that the actual movie is 2 hours, 40 minutes. So I had basically missed out 40 minutes of this movie. So I went back and then watched the missing 40 minutes of this movie because I commit to things. So, and then I realized that those 40 minutes were completely useless and I should not have watched them. So, yeah, this movie was a vibe for sure.
Yeah, I watched the unedited version as well on Enthusiasm. And yeah, it was nuts.
By the way, this movie came out the same year as The Room. Do you guys know The Room, right?
Yes.
The Tommy Wiseau movie. And
I did not.
I had some similarities that I found in this movie.
Oh wow! Okay.
So both movies have characters that suddenly have cancer that is explained in a very random and odd way. There are iconic scenes in a flower shop. There is a lot of rooftop dialogue. There is weird and unnecessary nudity. There's an old man projecting some weird type of machismo in an undefined accent, who has an odd relationship with an adoptive son. Then there's only so yeah, I did found some similarities between both of these movies, no? And the filmmaking is on par.
Are you suggesting sorry?
I'm saying the filmmaking and the editing is on par of both of these movies. Like the dialogue, the delivery, the acting is so bad. Like it's so bad. Like there are moments between Fardeen and Archana Puran Singh, and there's moments with him and Celina Jaitley where there is clearly no script. He's just doing whatever he wants to do. And Fardeen is really looking at the camera. He's looking at the team behind the camera, and they're just not cutting. And it's really awkward and weird. And it's I don't know what they were doing. A lot of it is also
even the introduction scene between Archana Puran Singh and Fardeen Khan. I don't know where that scene was going.
I was so uncomfortable. I was like, oh no, what is happening? And of course her name is Aunt Martha because Superman.
Why did he say that name? Why did he say that name?
It is
oh my god,
most weird, uncomfortable, borderline incestuous relationship I have seen in a while. It is really, really. But even the relationship between Celina Jaitley and Fardeen's father is really, really weird. Like,
yes,
it's really creepy.
Yes.
Why would this old man have like a blind girl with him all of the time, and he's super rich, and she dances in his club, and it's really, really weird.
Also, why is she partially blind, and how does that fit into the movie?
I also really enjoy the fact that every time they mention that she's partially blind, the camera goes out of focus and comes back
Yeah.
to tell you what it means.
मेरी नजर धुंधली and the focus goes boom, boom, boom.
She was partially blind or totally blind? Because even that I wasn't
No,
expecting.
no.
She's partially blind.
Oh, I thought she was
But then-
totally blind, and I think people were being really annoying because the moment where Fardeen tells her he loves her, he just shows her a flower. And he doesn't say anything. It's like she's a blind girl. How can she know there's a flower in front of her? But Celina Jaitley here is blind like Daredevil is blind. Like it has no effect on his life whatsoever. She can just do anything.
Yeah.
She's just running. She's sitting on rooftops. She's lying on waterfalls as a blind person, and it's totally fine. There's never any danger. There's a sequence where she goes to this place that calms her, which is like a beautifully scenic place. And I was like, why would a blind person go there alone? But Fardeen Khan comes to the back of her and then puts his hands in front of her eyes. And I just thought that was very cruel. Like, why would you do that to a blind person?
Also, I know that this, like, to the people who are listening, they're just like, what is happening? It all sounds like we're just jumping from one thing to another. But this is what this movie is like. It literally, like, this is the structure. Like, something happens and then something absolutely unrelated happens. And you're like, why did this happen? And there is no
Right.
answer.
If you can survive the first 15 minutes of this movie, which is just like an information dump, like it goes from the recording studio to the nightclub, the trajectory of this
So,
movie is
Let's
just...
get into
It starts
Yeah.
it starts with Celina Jaitley's dad is recording in an orchestra for Fardeen Khan's dad, who's being played by Harsh Chaya.
who's a music producer and club owner. That's basically his job, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's
And-
Gulshan Kumar, basically.
Yeah. And then Celina Jaitley's dad, who's like one of the worst actors that I've ever seen. Like, I've seen extras who act better than this man. But he...
And he's got a name called Tony Pereira, but Anand Raj Anand, who is the music director of this movie, he has a Punjabi accent and he says Tony Pereira.
and Tony is like drunk, so he
Give a
gets
f-
fired.
Basically, don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Tony says, "Galti sab karta hai Seth."
Yeah. Like that's his answer for being drunk in the orchestra or not being able to play. And when Harsh Chaya tells him, why are you drunk? He's like, "Phansi pe chada dega kya? Galti sab karta hai." I was like, whoa, taking it to 11, Tony Pereira.
And then, like, Celina is somehow like this little girl who is in love with little boy Fardeen, who is basically the kid from Fana, about like 10
He's
years
Hari
before
Putter,
Fana.
right? He's
right?
Hari Putter.
Yeah, he's
Yeah. That's who he is. And this kid is just obnoxious, and there's like, and you see this kid the first time he's like fighting, like Johnny Lever is his
Butler comes
martial
sensei.
arts.
His butler comes sensei.
Yeah.
And the moves that they have, and I was wondering if is this the you have the Marvel cinematic universe, you have the Feroz Khan cinematic universe. I was wondering if Johnny Lever was also Sanjay Dutt's trainer in Yalghar, because they have the exact same karate moves.
and
Only you can think of that multiverse happening. So,
The FKU.
and then
So
and like Johnny Lever is just like this weird character, because like he and they have like this catchphrase going. What is it? Tum hai Hong Kong, hum hai Hindustan. Like what
very
is it?
long. It's
And then
tu hai Jackie Chan, मैं हूँ Johnny Chan, tu Hong Kong, मैं Hindustan, or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. And you're just like, what is that about? But then also the next time that you see Johnny Lever, he's engaged to a monkey.
Yes.
Like, and that's not even a
Champakali.
metaphor. Like, it's a actual monkey.
yeah.
And whom he marries.
To make sure that this is a bandariya, because obviously we're not gonna, this is not
No gay marriage. No gay
in
marriage.
the FKU, right? Like
FK.
Marry women. That's what men do.
and like and I think he gets actually married to the Bandariya, like
think
in
so.
Yeah.
the finale, like when like Celina and Fardeen, I don't know, like there's so many things going on, you guys. But anyway, this little girl is in love with Fardeen's little version, and Fardeen is like, ew, girls, cooties. And then this child goes home, and her dad is like, how dare you love the son of my enemy, and picks her up and throws her into a mirror. And that's when she goes blind.
Yes.
And then her brother tries to save her by killing their dad
With a guitar.
Guitar.
with the gift.
Yeah.
It's I have no idea. Like, and then like that's that. That's just that. Like that's the thing that happened, and now we are all over
Yeah.
it. And you're just like, why? Why did we go through that?
There's a lot of exposition. Like people really come in and they there's a line that says "मेरी बहन मार्था जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में रहती है." So कोई character ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाने वाला है मार्था के पास. This is gonna.
And then also like, okay, so when Fardeen Khan, like Feroz Khan plays a Afghani, I don't even know what. But
he's an ex Mujahideen. Like that's what he is, right? Like in the 80s, and that happens much later.
Is he though?
Yeah, I think.
Because I don't think he is a Mujahideen. I think he like literally was like some Afghani dude who was like sitting at home, and then the Russians came in, and he was just like, well, I guess we're gonna fight the Russians. like he wasn't at camp or anything. He was like with his wife and his kid.
I think it was understood because they had like Kalashnikovs where, they normally people put their hat, like that's where they were hanging their Kalashnikovs.
Yeah.
So I assume they were Mujahids, right? Yeah. So, and he had a son who was pretty much Fardeen Khan. And with this, we have to. I mean, we're jumping all over the place. We have to go back to the helicopter. Basically, he's flying in a helicopter, just scouting dudes with a while on the helipad, Fardeen Khan is doing bare-chested karate katas, like, and he's like, "Yehi mera Janasheen." Janasheen.
Also, what kind of supervillain is called Sabah Kareem? Like, who came up with that name? Like,
Feroz.
why is he called Sabah Kareem? But anyway, Sabah Kareem does namaz with like a pet tiger, and also his Tibetan. Is it like his sidekick called Lapsong?
Yes.
Yep.
Why is he named after a tea? Like, I don't understand.
So Lopsang has an IMDb page.
He's very active on YouTube. He's left multiple comments on the Janasheen screener of Gold Mines, asking Gold Mine movies, why has my fight scene been cut and edited? And then I went to his YouTube channel where he has a lot of short films, which I was strongly recommend people to watch. You will have a good time. I sent them to you, but you guys didn't watch them. I know that. But yes. By the way,
On the Janasheen IMDb page, there is a collage of clips from Janasheen of Lopsang. It looks like one of those graphics that we used to see in Shadi Wale VHS tapes when the animation flies like a PowerPoint presentation. It looks like that. It's pretty cool.
I've never done namaz in my life, but I can safely say that I'd probably do a better job of reading namaz than Feroz.
Why does Feroz Khan's Islam feel Islamophobic? That's what I ask you guys.
I was going to ask you if this was the Muslim representation that you needed, Asim.
Like then people will say, why does Asim always talk about Islam? Like what? Feroz can just do what he wants and I can't talk about it? Like what is that?
he does this. He does this. Like he ends. Like you always like he shows himself doing the
That,
namaz like at the last one, right? Like the last step. And then when he does a little like shimmy shake. He's just like, you know what namaz needs? Islam needs a little pizzazz, a little like music.
like let me give you a few specific so you have in the namaz you have the ruku where you bend over, and then you have the sajda, right? Like when Feroz does like his back is so arched, like it needs to be straight. Like there's like this man has never been in this position in his life before. Plus, like he's like there's a moment like every time he kills somebody, azan starts playing. Like, wouldn't he be more pious, like thinking of the azan? And then there's
You know,
one more thing.
I actually thought.
Go ahead.
Sorry, just one more. Like, I actually thought the first time the azan was playing and he was going to kill somebody, I thought like, oh, this is where he stops to like show that he's a pious Muslim, and he was like,
mercy.
this is like the perfect time to murder you.
It's like the gods are calling you.
So
Sorry, go
every time
on.
he kills a dude he kills Captain's attack on the boat, right? Like, and Captain's
Yes.
attack gets killed, and then he just goes to the front of the boat and starts doing the namaz. And I was like, there's no way that this boat is in the right direction to do namaz. Like, like, there's no way this is pointing. And then the other time he kills somebody in the middle of the night, and then he says, मेरे नमाज का वक्त हो गया है. There is no namaz in the middle of the night. Like, like Isha कब की हो चुकी है? That's like, like there's no way. So this man, I don't know which kind of Islam that he follows, but it's the FKU, it's the Feroz Khan universe. Dear Lord.
Even Captain's attack is called Chang for some reason. Like,
Captain attack is just like on 50 level 50 all the times. When he is in, he's gonna try to kill somebody and fail miserably at it. That's the Captain's attack. Poor guy.
only for 30 lakhs.
So we go back to the club, right? Like the club is called Angare.
Angara.
But yeah, okay. So everyone else calls it Angara, and then Feroz calls it Angare. And you're like, what is it called?
Yeah. And Harsh Chaya is so emotionally invested in this club. I do like मेरे पुरखों की ज़मीन है, but it's
Yeah.
and I don't understand why he does not want to sell this club for double the price of what
It is his Khandani nightclub.
It's his Khandani nightclub.
Give it up.
And like Feroz Khan has this fascination with nightclubs, right? We had this when we were talking about what did we review? We didn't do
Kurbani.
Was it Kurbani that we did, right? And it's like, but he feels like a guy that's never been in a club, because in this club people just love violins and slow romantic songs. Like she pulls out a violin and people just start jamming on it, and then Kashmira Shah comes in. Did you guys? I just realized Kashmira Shah looks a lot like Disha Patni. Like, I don't know. Felt there was a lot of similarities between how these two women look. She is playing like a crazy person, man. What is that makeup that they have her do?
Yeah.
What is that called, Amrita?
I think it's
What?
the makeup. What is that? The Kashmira Shah.
I have no idea, but she shows up looking like the vampire from like an Anne Rice novel, and she's like, and what is the point of that entire character? I don't even understand why she's there.
She's like a henchman.
And then and then like she gets murdered by like by Lapsang, by Lapsang. And the way that he's murdering her makes it look like she's giving him a blowjob. Like, I'm just like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
and that was pretty thought out as well. It's not a random thing
No.
that happened. It definitely,
No.
it was, yeah, and made me think about Kashmira Shah's sort of filmography, and she's always been seen as this sort of dispensable side chick. but in a very yeah, it's the vamp character, right? And like even in Wake Up Sid, or like Yes Boss, even in harmless movies like there, she's always the mostly hypersexualized female character in the
I think that's why she gets punished
and
so much cinematically, because she is sexualized, right? And I think that makes
yeah.
it so uncomfortable watching how she's being treated on screen, right? And I just also then, because I watched the Goldmine version where actually the whole sequence is not even there. Her death is not there. Then I saw Lapsang's comment, and then I found the longer version, and I was like, why did Lapsang want this to be included in the movie? It looks really, really weird. But yeah, he was very pissed off at Goldmine movies. So then basically Celina Jaitley's entry comes in, and she's blind, or partially blind. I don't know what the levels of her blindness are, but it doesn't show at all in any of her mannerisms, because
No.
like which blind girl does sexy dances in front of the mirror, like I don't know, like it's like a portrayal of blindness that I've never seen. It was really, really weird, like what they make her do here. What did you think of Celina Jaitley? What do you think generally of Celina Jaitley? Because I was thinking about it. Like there was this movie came out in an era where a lot of sexy
Miss Universe, Miss India.
sexy women were coming out, and I think the epitome of this was next year, actually, with Malika Sherawat's Murder came out like a year after, and that was kind of the pinnacle. And even like Julie, like a lot of actresses that are now
Yeah.
established were what came up in that era, right? And what do you guys think of Celina Jaitley, Amrita? Or do you not think of her?
I mean, yeah, like who thinks about Celina Jaitley? Like, no, I don't. She can't act. She's very pretty, and that's about it.
She kind of reminds me of Bipasha Basu in a way.
No,
But
Bipasha
also,
at least had like screen presence,
yeah,
like
that's what.
Yeah, I mean, even
Mine
Bipasha, I
was that.
would like put into that era of women, right? Like I don't know when Bipasha did her when she made her big screen debut, but Jism was definitely one of those movies, right?
So when you talk about the sexy women of that particular era of Bollywood, a couple of years later, Fardeen Khan made this movie called Hey Baby with Ritesh Deshmukh and Akshay, and the title track of that has all the cameos of all the sexy women of that era, right? Shamita Shetty, and then there's Amrita Arora and Celina Jaitley. I think Koena Mitra is also
Yes.
there in there somewhere. So all of these people just disappeared into thin air.
Yeah, Isha Kopikar, those kind of things. Like, and Jism actually came out in 2003, so there was definitely something in the air of sex and bikinis and hotness and all that kind of thing. So I think now,
And Fardeen and Feroz Khan wanted to have it all for himself.
So Sujoy, any movies of Celina Jaitley that kind of stand out for you, or you even think about, like?
Oh, I'm just looking at what have I seen of
Because I
Celina
think now
Jaitley.
she's like a right-wing influencer kind of thing, like super nationalistic and
I have
stuff like that.
no
if I'm not
idea.
mistaken. Which would make sense, right?
I thought she was like a mommy influencer.
Is she?
Like she got married and she has like 2 babies, and then somebody or the other was like morphing her pictures or something, and I think was like, yeah, I don't know. Like I remember her like going on social media some time ago and saying that this is disgusting and sick and blah blah blah. But I don't remember
No,
anything
that's
else.
shit. If people are doing that, that's kind of messed up, though. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I have not seen any movie of Celina Jaitley other than No Entry.
And
Oh yeah, she was in No Entry.
yeah, and I would not call that Celina Jaitley.
Celina Jaitley movie, yeah.
She's really bad in this, like acting wise, like even dancing. Like she's not a good because that's one of the things in this movie, and it's like
Nobody's a good dancer in this movie, though.
Yeah.
but
There's a lot of
There's a
dancing,
lot of
but nobody's
dancing,
singing
but the thing
dancer.
is, it seems to be unplanned dancing. Like I don't feel there's any
Yeah.
choreography. It's only just basically one person in front of the camera anywhere in random places. Sometimes they're in a cave, sometimes they're in a rooftop, sometimes they're in the beach, and they just have to do these dance moves that are kind of like Shamak Davar inspired. Fardeen is doing that kind of era of dancing, but it looks really bad. I don't also think of Fardeen to be a good dancer, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Like I don't. But yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know what Fardeen was ever good at.
Oh, Remo D'Souza is the
Yeah,
choreographer.
that makes sense, right? That makes sense.
But also the music is terrible.
Yes.
Like I don't remember
Yeah.
a single one of these songs.
I did like that main track, the main track. As a song.
Marhaba.
No, no, Marhaba. So Marhaba got cut out of the gold mines.
The Marhaba, the main chorus goes, "Won't you be my Janasheen? Love you, Janasheen. Hope you love me, Janasheen. Give me your love,
Oh
Janasheen."
my God.
That's the chorus.
But again, like if Janasheen is used as air, what does this song then mean? Like, what did it?
Yeah.
'Cause it's not used as my lover, right? Which I thought was the meaning that they were going as Janasheen, but it's not in the entire movie. It's as my heir, as the person that I will leave everything to. Then what does "give me your love, Janasheen" mean? You know, like it's really, really
Yeah.
weird.
Speaking of the music, are you talking about the Nashe Nashe Mein Yaar song?
The one on the beach, man, the violin song, which was
Oh, Dil Deewana.
yeah.
No,
So-
no. I'm talking about the Nashe Nashe Mein Yaar with, I think it's sung by Adnan Sami, if I'm correct. It sort of reminds me of another Anand Rajanand song, which is Ishq Samundar from Kante. It's got the same rhythm sort of thing, which is a far superior song, I think.
The song I mean is "Pyar Hone Laga Hai." That's the one that I kind of like.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the
yeah.
main big song. Very like of that era. Even not, I think it almost feels like 90s era song. Like, you know, like Sonu Nigam singing and all that kind of thing. All the rest of the songs are really, really bad, which is surprising because usually Feroz Khan has good music in his he has good production values, he has locations that we've not seen, it has kind of this machismo. They really tried to style Celina Jaitley as Zinat Aman. Clear, like the way she's dressed in red, she has like a headband, like the bikinis and stuff like that. They really try, but you're working with Celina Jaitley, so what are you going to do with it, you know?
That one song is exactly like from Kurbani. It's like Leila Mein Leila, you know, like Redux.
Yes.
But terrible.
But terrible, yeah.
Yes.
And there's also like a sad song. This one, Apke Bar Poonam Mein. Apke Bar Poonam. And it was sung by Gauri Bapat. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I didn't know who the singer was because she has a very different timbre to her voice. Like, it sounds very different. I was like, who is this? Like, who's singing this? And it's the same lady that sung Lakdi Ki Kati, which is like such a weird like mishmash, and she's literally not sung anything else. It's like Lakdi Ki Kati, this song from Janasheen, and that's her career. Like, it's insane. So there are like very elaborate action set pieces here also, because there's like a lot of like bike, super bike.
The Australian International Championship.
Yes.
Aussie भी है, international भी है, दोनों.
And I like that. So there's later on a theme that, you know, when Harsh Chaya is dead, Fardeen has to go back to India to do like property stuff and all that, and he's like, yeah, stay in India, and he's like, yeah, but my dream of becoming a super bike champion reh jayegi. I was like, what are you talking about? This is like your dream. And I just do not understand what this was about. And like, it's funny also because they have like the superbike race, which is super violent and things are happening, but later on there's also a trail bike off-road kind of race happening.
Yeah, a mud biking race.
I was thinking these are very different skills. It's not like because you're a super bike racer that you're automatically also an off-bike racer, but it doesn't work. It doesn't matter in the FKU, right? Like, I think Fardeen ko biking person hai, so just do all kind of biking possible. And like, if you are spending that much amount of money And Feroz was obviously there. Like, he's the director of the movie. He's shooting the movie, right? Then why is he the only one that has a blue screen behind him? Like, he's not even there when the race is happening.
Yeah.
The special effects are so bad in this movie, and it immediately even starts when they show you the picture of Feroz with Fardeen back in Afghanistan. And basically, was that called, Sujoy, when they cut out the face and that has special
rotoscope?
Yeah, they basically and the graphics made me remember that picture of friendship with Mudassar is finished, now Salman is my friend.
Speaking of VFX, when back to Afghanistan, when that bombing starts, and Firoz's actual son Fardeen has to go out for the mission, he says, "Sambhal ke jana," and then the moment he steps on his bomb, and his face disintegrates. Right, they are supposedly showing the effects of bombing, and it's just like a aata chipka diya.
Exactly. Half black, half white, and he got like a full tank missile shot on his belly. Like, it hit him straight on.
Yeah.
And he was like,
What the hell?
Oh God. But Feroz is really in his RDX era here, right? Like, this is like the RDX welcome kind of, like, he's so weird. He's such a weird dude, man. Like, he's such a weird dude.
I would never be able to figure out what goes inside that mind to make Jambaz, Kurbani, and then this.
Yeah.
Kashmir Shah, before she kills Yash Tong, who plays
Yash
Max,
Tong.
Celina Jaitley's Celina Jaitley's brother. He calls him a lying bitch, and then she gets upset. Nobody calls me a bitch, and then shoots him 3 times. Epic cinema.
Epic.
Oh, nobody calls me a bitch. I'm a lady. Oh man, this movie had so much.
Also, Celina Jaitley and Kashmira Shah have a dance off together on a song. 100% Missy Elliott's "Get Your Freak On," and they just copied the entire tune, and then they made it a dance battle between Kashmira Shah and Celina Jaitley. Like, it's wild. It's really, really wild. Amrita, did you have anything else and any notes that you want to talk about? Like,
This movie just went on for freaking ever. Like, it just wouldn't end. And I saw the entire version. Like, I did not know that, the compressed version was a possibility, because I would have 100% watched that instead. Instead, I watched every single minute of this.
Yeah. I have to remind you guys of the climax scene on the helipad when Lobsang comes to rescue Sabah, but Sabah is like, "Ye mera Janasheen hai," so he points the gun at him, right? And so Lobsang shoots Sabah.
No. Lapsang tries to shoot Fardeen, and then Fardeen sees Sabah raise his gun to shoot Lapsang, and then shoots Sabah because he thinks Sabah is going to kill him.
Yeah.
And then they keep shooting like past each other for like 3-4 bullets. And poor Lapsang never gets to shoot anybody and dies.
Yeah, and Sabah also dies. But after all of that, we get the reaction shot almost a minute later of the helicopter pilot saying, "Oh my God." And then he flies away. And then sabki shaadi ho jati hai. Johnny Lever gets married to Champakali, the monkey. The end.
he has a whole song. Like, he sings a whole song to the monkey, and it goes on for ages. And again, because Fardeen and Celina have no direction, they just try to act on it, and it's really, really weird. Like, even like a lot of times, like what you're saying about the helicopter pilot, a lot of this movie is reaction shots without any context of the rest of it. And it's really badly directed. They just do one shot and then they move on. And all of these actors are really bad, so they can't really even do anything about it, right? There's this other girl that clearly is like some producer's or businessman's daughter that is playing the ex-girlfriend of
Yeah,
Fardeen.
Fardeen, Rima.
Yeah, and it's just embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing to cast a person that is so untalented in your movie. And I don't think she even dubbed for her own lines. And it's really, really bad. Like, it's really bad. And this movie is just like Amrita, you were saying, it feels from another era. Like in 2003, Kal Ho Na Ho came out. Koi Mil Gaya came out. Chalte Chalte, Munna Bhai MBBS. You know, like a lot of these movies, like even like from movies like, Teen Diware, Nagesh Kukunur's movie, like a lot was happening. Bhoot, Ram Gopal Verma, a lot of things were happening that were different, that were kind of, new. And this is kind of taking you back to an era of bad filmmaking from the 80s. And even Feroz Khan wasn't making such bad movies in the 80s. He was making actually decent movies. But here, I don't know what happened, why he decided to do this. And I'm looking at Fardeen's career after Prem Aggan, which was again, he was like mocked so much from Prem Aggan. But after that, he was actually working with Ram Gopal Verma. So he had Jungle,
Yeah.
he had Pyar Tune Kya Kiya, he had Love Ke Liye Kuch Bhi Karega, he had Om Jagdish Hare, whatever. No, that was later.
Om Jai
Is that
Jagdish.
the one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Om Jai Jagdish. So he had like decent movies, right? So it wasn't that he was doing. Khushi came out, Bhoot came out before this, right?
Yeah.
And then he does
Yeah.
Janasheen. Like, why? Like, he actively is harming his own son's career by doing this kind of movie. And it doesn't even seem that Fardeen wanted to do this movie. Look, like, if you make a movie like that, you are watching the end product. Can anybody of the entire team say we did a good job? I cannot believe that they can do that,
Yeah.
right? And honestly, for Fardeen, after this, he did really good work. He did Dev, he did Fida, No Entry, Ek Khiladi Ek Hasina, my favorite Aryan the Unbreakable. But oh my God, please don't choke out. Hey Baby, Darling, these are pretty decent movies for Fardeen's career. But like, this one sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's just sad that Feroz is directing it. It's such a bad movie, and yeah, it's terrible. This movie is truly, truly terrible. But I kind of enjoyed it because it's so bonkers. It's so bonkers. I was really watching it like The Room. So, and also I do want to say I did note this down because we at Khandaan don't give a crap about award shows, right? I think we all feel that award shows don't mean anything whatsoever. And I think out of all of them, the worst is probably the IFA awards, right? Like literally a no relevant stupid award ever, right? This won an IFA award. This was nominated for 4 categories. It was nominated literally for Best Film, for Best Supporting Actor Yash Tong, for Best Story Feroz Khan, and then the winner was Best for Performance in a Negative Role for Feroz Khan. Like, it's insane. Like, if anybody on my timeline says that IFA means anything, I will just pull out these stats again for you. Like, it's just ridiculous that they won. And they really wanted him to win, right? If they're nominating him for 4 things, it's ridiculous. Did you enjoy it, Amrita, though? Except the bonkersness of it, no?
No, it's terrible. What are you talking about?
Sujoy, do you think Fardeen Khan sold the club or he kept the club at the end of the movie?
Oh, he handed over the documents, right? But Sabah is dead, so
But the club was his, no? Angara? He got it from his dad.
but he gave away the papers to Sabah, didn't he?
Oh, okay. What happens? So whose Janasheen is he at the end? Nobody's? Like, after all that, he's nobody's Janasheen?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. My brain is right. This movie took forever to finish for me. Like, Yeah.
I think you gave it 5 sessions, no? Like, you've been talking about watching Janasheen for like weeks. Like, I watch 15 minutes, I watch 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's been like that. Yeah.
Amrita, final thoughts on Janasheen?
Please avoid as much as possible.
Sujoy?
I'm trying to figure out the best dialogue that I can say.
From the
Oh, in this movie, I realized, I guess Feroz Khan wanted to make this movie to show how much he loved Fardeen in real life. But in the movie, it's like Fardeen Khan adopts a new father in the end. It's just nuts.
I do wonder though if is it in a way. I mean, these are literally the last movies Feroz has made, right? Like, was it about passing the baton or thinking about his mortality and his son taking over? Like, maybe there are some themes there, but it's such a hackneyed way of making a movie that none of those themes can ever come through. But I think somewhere in Feroz's weird warped brain, those were elements that he was maybe thinking about. And the other thing I have to say, he really loves Fardeen Khan, right? Like, he really loves his son. That you can see in his movie. Like, he's like having people say, "Yeah, kya body hai?" It's like, what body? Like literally nothing. Like, you see him working out, like lifting these 2-kilo dumbbells, doing flies in a really bad form. I was like, dude, like, you're gonna hurt your shoulder here. Like, it's not good. But everybody's commenting on how hot Fardeen is looking. He's wearing these tiny chaddis in that scene with the Archana Puran Singh, and also in is it the Marhaba song, or there's another song, the Adnan Sami song, right? Mm-hmm. Those chaddis are so small. So small. But I mean, Feroz probably chose those for Fardeen to wear, no? Like, he just loves it, man.
I don't know what his word is.
Give me your love, Janasheen,
Yeah.
I think you guys should all watch Janasheen. I think you should watch the 2-hour 40-minute cut. I think.
Yeah. If we can suffer, you must as well.
It's available on YouTube. I think get drunk or take any substances that are allowed within your cultural, environment. If you're into hookah, just do hookah shots every time Janasheen is said, or every time Marhaba is said, or every time he pets a tiger, right? Like, this movie makes no sense. Insane. This movie is insane. It is on the level of something like The Room, but with much more money spent. It's crazy. This is a fever dream. Yeah. But thank you, Irfan, for making me watch this. I was literally laughing out loud watching this movie. So it did bring me some joy. I did laugh at this because it's just so bad. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it at home with no resources, Asim, as you. So you can tell I was not enjoying myself watching this.
No, I had a good time. So yeah, it's really up there with like The Room and stuff like that. Like, so bad, it's good. I think people should people talk about Prem Aggan, but this is on this level. It's that bad. Yeah. But thank you, Irfan, for picking out this movie, and thank you for being a patron. If you want to be a Ghar Ka Banda patron, you can then choose a movie, or you can just become like a lower level $1 patron, and you can get access to a lot of extra content like our Tiger retrospective that is live now, and we'll be doing more things. I think I really enjoy the people at Patreon. They're such a good bunch. And thank you everybody that joins us there. Amrita, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Amrita IQ.
Sujoy?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at 9E3K. And you can follow Khandaan Podcast on all our socials at Khandaan Podcast.
I'm Arasim Bernie. Drop us an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com. And thank you for listening. We'll be back with a new episode very soon.